Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have even more brand new updates when it comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro. We're actually now seeing brand new specs once again. They're now being kind of slowly and finally tuned over here when it comes to the overall console. Now, as you guys may or may not know, when it comes to PlayStation 5 Pro, we have been kind of seeing like the ever-evolving leak list, kind of how we saw for the PlayStation 5 Slim, where we kept on getting little bits and pieces of more information as time kept on going out, and it kind of seems like more things kind of get more and more confirmed. So we're going to talk about these like now expected speculations and rumors when it comes to PlayStation 5 Pro in terms of all their internal specs, and as well, we'll just talk about all the good general deets as well. What's some pretty cool gaming news too as well, with the brand new James Bond game, Elden Ring DLC, and some other kind of big stuff in terms of Destiny even responding as well. So we have a lot of stuff to go talk about over here. So if you guys will stay back, relax, and enjoy, and subscribe if you guys are new. We have the Howl ongoing promotion with a bunch of games up on sale, linked down below, hashtag add with all of them. We have the Twitter and Twitch if you guys want to go and follow, and of course as well, I just want to hear your thoughts and comments all down below. So as I mentioned, the PlayStation 5 Pro has been now kind of finding its way out in the wild. Now, it's not necessarily fully in the wild, but more of the information and leaks kind of seem like they keep on, I guess, like, conjoining itself together to go and, well, give you actual proper specs. So we're going to go talk about this right now, where the leaked PS5 Pro specifications updated now to even have a slightly better improved CPU boost clock, custom Sony tech for the GPU, and apparently now an older process node. Now, this is going to be intriguing because we're still in the speculation and kind of observing side when it comes to content, when it comes to, you know, the PlayStation 5 Pro, if it even exists, etc. But with the PlayStation 5 Slim also coming out and pretty much on the way right now, a lot more folks are kind of clamoring towards it and noticing it too as well. Basically saying, as per the PS5 leak by the Red Gaming Tech, the console would feature an 8-core Zen 2 CPU with clock speeds slightly above the 4 GHz and RDNA 3 GPU with a 2.8 GHz clock frequency and 16 gigabytes of 18,000 MTS DDR6 memory, resulting in memory bandwidth of around 587 gigabytes. Do I have any idea what that means? Not really, but interesting, the leaker also now alleges they downgraded the manufacturing process, though, as well. So once again, I want everyone to take all this type of PS5 Pro stuff with a grain of salt, and especially now that we have a PS5 Slimmer that some folks are now claiming it, can't take everything once again. Like, we'll have more official notice too, but typically when we see a lot of leaks and consistent leaks, or overall, like I said, it kind of fine-tunes into like a little funnel, or it's like, okay, like 5 people go and say you're going to have like an 8-core CPU. Okay, that seems mostly confirmed. Okay, we're going to have then like a 1 terabyte update, say for the PS5 Slim, before we knew that was coming out. Okay, we have 20 people confirming that. Okay, it seems like it's going to happen. So keep that in mind. This is not confirmed until Sony says it themselves. So basically over here, Paul Exelon is back at it again with another update for the PS5 Pro specifications. The gaming console with Sony has yet to confirm to rumored incorporate the AMD Viola APU with a Ryzen CPU and an RDNA GPU. And then Paul's previous leaks, the PS5 Pro CPU could be up to an 8-core Zen 2 part, while the RDNA GPU could come with a 30 WGPs. Some of these, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm always not necessarily the most, I guess, defined when it comes to specifications, but basically the better GPU, the more stuff you could process in terms of like graphics quality, resolution, etc., and CPUs more things for like operating system and like overall world event rendering and stuff like that. So we can kind of go from these brand new claims. So for starters, the leaker is now suggesting that the Viola APU with 8 custom Zen 2 cores will now be packing, I believe, in terms of this one, like just overall upgrades in terms of the prior leaks, it seems like, possibly. We'll pack a 30 WGP RDNA 3 GPU. There's a lot of random individual words for that one, with 30 out of 32 active WGPs, or 16 WGPs per shader array. And then interesting as well, they also report some custom Sony tech for the GPU. Now, I'm going to go and just kind of ramble on this one too, because in theory, all speculation can kind of be whatever. But in terms of custom-made tech, that is a little bit of a probably obvious statement, and the fact they don't really elaborate on this stuff too much. Like, I take a lot of these like leaks with a grain of salt, mainly because if it's like a random person talking about it, it's the same thing for me. I could probably make a video, and I've seen and made enough YouTube videos out there that like I could probably go and give you guys a rough idea of what to expect, and then if you get media attention, I get a bunch of random views. So there is always an outside merit towards people talking about this. Even my own self talk about this, even though I'm more so kind of giving my thoughts on what we're kind of seeing, what we're kind of expecting, and the early leaks on it, you still have some sort of like profitability in terms of maybe you get more extra viewers or people watching your channel or whatever it might be. So once again, take some of these these with a bit of a grain of salt. I'm going to talk about it, obviously, because I'm kind of curious, and it does kind of seem like there is at least some sort of merit towards it, but a little bit of a reminder on that one. But basically, when it comes to all this stuff, when it comes to custom Sony tech, that does seem very likely. No matter what happens when it comes to products, when it comes to things, think like the Switch, think the prior consoles as well. Typically, if you have a close business connection with AMD, you could be like, hey, like we're gonna go make you like 30 million consoles. Go and give us a proper deal. Maybe give us like a little bit more of a cut and discount. Maybe go make something specific with your design team. So we're gonna have this all for your console. Now, I think that's good. Like if they actually go down that route, it might have like a more special proprietary, basically GPU, or even other things like CPUs, etc., if they can somehow work those on in with the companies themselves to go and fine-tune and optimize the consoles, which also may save a lot of the consumers a lot of money, and at the end of the day, I think that's something we actually want to have too as well. So, when it comes to the clock speeds, though, the PS5's Pro GPU reportedly hits a frequency between the 2.5 to 2.8 gigahertz. However, they also allege that the CPU to reach a low of 4 gigahertz clock speed. The Zen 2 CPU inside the vanilla PS5, as a comparison, has a variable clock speed that only boosts to 3.5 gigahertz. So even without a jump to newer architectures, the PS5 Pro could still be a notable CPU performance bump. Now, that's a big thing to kind of note too as well, because the prior CPU did seem like it was slogging a little bit in terms of the GPU. Seemed like a good upgrade. The APU, like the overall processing unit, seemed like a good update. Now we're kind of seeing like that. Apparently, there is updates in overall. So basically, this next console should be looking like a beast, and as well should also have, in theory, have their own custom software that also, I don't want to always just say it's going to 100% be better by comparable price points, but by the same point I made before, where some companies can basically go get a cheaper deal saying we're going to make you 30 million consoles, we're going to give you a long contract, you can work with us with the PS6, PS7, etc. That kind of incentivizes them to get their best engineers working on something more suitable and also price efficient as well. So that's kind of good. So apparently it seems like a big bolster of all three big upgrades too as well, which I think is absolutely sick too as well. So moving on, Sony could also pack 16 gigabytes of DDR6 memory running at 18,000 MMTX, an unspecified amount of DDR5 RAM with 4 gigabytes reserved for the system, which that does seem like a consistent thing when it comes to the console. Basically, they're having a chance to go and separate out the DDR memory for the launch. So basically, whenever you launch the console, go into the menu, stores, and all that, versus everything else too on top of that, which I think overall at the end of the day is kind of nice. Good stuff, good stuff. They also have the brand new 2X Tempest engine, and basically the Tempest engine is Sony's implementation of a customized AMD RDNA 3 compute unit to enable 3D audio on the PS5, so it's easy to assume that the purported inclusion of 2X Tempest engine can be aimed at taking 3D audio to the next level on the PS5. But they also mentioned too as well for the PS5 Pro's APU is reportedly being manufactured on the TSMC 5 or so, and more likely the 6-nanometer process. There's a regression curve the leakers pass assertion to as well, them on a slightly different nanometer node too as well. So I'm intrigued because this information changed up a lot, and I don't want to go call out anyone in general, because I think like just the old speculation, the idea, having a chance to kind of brainstorm and daydream about stuff, I think that's cool. Like I like the idea behind this nonetheless. And if all this kind of information is kind of true as well, having an overall console performance with a better GPU, CPU, APU, and also even having the allocated RAM for the operating system, I think those are all really good upgrades at the end of the day, especially with custom Sony-made software, if that's going to happen. Like I said, that does happen quite a bit with other consoles. So once again, take everything with a grain of salt. Nothing against the guy, obviously, but just always remember that there's kind of, I don't know, sometimes there's always alternative motives too as well when it does come with leaks. But either way, I like to report on and talk about and get your thoughts and comments on them down below as well. Now, for some very interesting stuff, we did finally go and see Bungie going to respond on this whole big layoff drama, saying this has been one of the most difficult weeks in our studio's history as we've parted ways with people we respect and admire. We spent this week supporting one another, including those who are at the studio, as well as friends and colleagues who are no longer are. We acknowledge the feedback and concerns you have about the upcoming Destiny expansions, as well as your response to the reveal of Final Shape. We know we have lost a lot of your trust. Destiny needs a surprise and delight. We haven't done this enough, and it's going to change. The path forward is clear to make sure the next game is going to be a massive, unforgettable experience. We want to build something that will be regarded as one of the best games they've ever made too as well, and obviously a lot of folks are still sad about the ongoing layoffs going on here. Now, I'm sad about that. I know people that work at Bungie, and I know some people got laid off. Overall, not fun. I also have a brand new upcoming James Bond game is also being described as the ultimate spycraft fantasy, which makes me so so happy, especially with how good Hitman 3 came out too as well. Like, Hitman 3 was a phenomenal game, and the same exact folks are, I believe, making this upcoming game too as well. So they're apparently saying this game's gonna be absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to play it. And last but not least, anyone who's still excited for Elden Ring DLC, the DLC is coming sooner rather than later, and it was announced too as well, and they're progressing very, very good too on top of that. So we have all the brand new HOW links all down below in case you guys do want to go and check those out. We have the Twitter and Twitch if you guys want to go follow. We also subscribe if you guys are new, and I appreciate y'all so much for watching here in the first place.